When most people think about Lady Gaga, leadership probably is not the first characteristic that comes to mind. More likely thoughts include her Grammy-winning albums, her questionable choices in wardrobe, and her often unusual behaviors. However, Lady Gaga does demonstrate the key dimensions of an authentic leader, and her influence, especially among those considered outcast by society, cannot be ignored. She has managed to incorporate her social beliefs and her personal beliefs into her art. She strongly stands up for the LGBT community and opposes issues such as rape, negative body image issues, and animal cruelty. She differs from some of her contemporaries by her willingness to go dark, as she likes to call it. She's very descriptive in sharing her experiences about being thrown in the trash can by bullies, or about struggling with an illicit drug addiction or an eating disorder for over a decade. In contrast to Lady Gaga, I chose to use Malala Yousafzai. Malala is definitely a more traditional choice of a leader. She began writing a blog at the age of 11 that described her fears related to the increased Taliban presence in her hometown of Pakistan, and she talked about her fears that her school would be closed down due to their presence. She initially started writing the blog under a pseudonym and then began using her real name when she was describing her experiences. At the age of 13, she won a youth award in Pakistan, and she was nominated for an International Peace Prize award for children. Because of this, she gained the attention of the Taliban, who didn't like that she was gaining so much attention, negative attention towards them. So they made the decision to attempt to assassinate her. On October 9th, 2012, she was riding a school bus home, and a Taliban gunman entered and asked for her by name and shot her at close range in the head. Thankfully, she did survive the attack. She spent several months in a medically induced coma in the United Kingdom, but since she has been out, she has worked very hard to become a national advocate for women's education and stand up for millions of girls who are being denied the right of a formal education. Like I said, she won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2012, becoming the youngest recipient of that award to date. So although they support drastically different causes, they do share a leadership characteristic that is similar. They both focus on issues that they have struggled with and use that as their platform for their advocacy. So when I'm talking about their communication styles, I'd like to focus on three main aspects that I can use to compare and contrast. I would like to focus on their method of delivery. I would like to focus on the use of social media to help them spread their message, and talk about the key message that they like to focus on. So for Lady Gaga, she has said that her preferred method of delivery is through song, which makes sense considering she's an artist. She says that music helps her express feelings and emotions that she would not be able to express through words or written communication. She even admits to writing songs when she is having a hard time talking to her fiance, Taylor Kinney, who is also a star on NBC's Chicago Fire. But aside from using music as a method of communication, she is also known for her outspoken delivery. When announcing the launch of her 2013 Body Revolution campaign, she posted a picture of herself in a very skimpy set of bra and underwear, and she used several profanities when she described that she had battled an eating disorder for the past 10 years and that the world needs to gain some compassion. So, for her, using foul language is the norm. I also think it's important to address her weirdness, for lack of a better word. She is known for being very odd, and she routinely engages in behaviors that are different but are very strategically planned. Her infamous meat dress, which she wore to the 2010 MTV Awards, gained national attention overnight. When she was asked about why she chose to wear that dress, she explained that if you don't stand up for what you believe in, soon you will have the same right as the meat on your bones. So while it's an odd demonstration, she hoped to gain attention for the don't ask, don't tell policy, which she strongly opposes. So, as far as social media, Lady Gaga has often been referred to as the queen of social media. She was ranked number 5 on Forbes' list of most social celebrities, and she currently has 47 million Twitter followers and was the first living individual to have 10 million Facebook friends. She explains that she likes to use social media to help her turn her fans into friends. So as far as her key message that she promotes, I would like to use an article that was written by Matthew DeFlim, who is a professor at the University of South Carolina who teaches a class solely about Lady Gaga and the sociology of fame. In an article, he writes that Lady Gaga is the exemplification of product differentiation. He explains that she is not only a pop star, but that she's also an icon, an activist, an actress, and an extremist. So Lady Gaga uses that same positioning when she advocates for her many issues that she chooses. She has taken stances against body shaming issues, against oppression of the LGBT community, against rape and sexual assault, and against animal rights, just to name a few. So while she preaches an overall theme of acceptance and kindness, she has certainly diversified her outreach efforts. So now I'd like to talk about Malala. Malala's preferred method delivery is definitely not song. She prefers to share her story through written communication. Before she publicly took a stance, like I said, she began writing a blog at the age of 11 under a pseudonym. She has written several other works of written communication that have been published, and although she now does do interviews and inspirational speeches, she wrote a memoir which goes into great detail explaining her experiences and her fears, and really lets people get a greater in-depth view of what she went through. She also recognizes the importance of speaking for herself, so she is very cognizant of what she says. Unlike Lady Gaga, who is outspoken, she's very thankful for the right and the opportunity to speak, because many of her Pakistani women do not have that right. So she's very cognizant of what she says, and she chooses her words very carefully. As far as social media, she's also very different from Lady Gaga. This was somewhat surprising to me because she became famous because she wrote a blog describing her experiences, but she actually refrains from using social media. She explains that she does not have a Twitter account, she does not have a Facebook account, because she wants to focus on her education. She jokes about selfies and how they are not the most appropriate use of one's time, but then also took the opportunity to express the importance of using social media to highlight important issues. The example that she uses was gaining attention of the 200 plus young women or young girls in Nigeria that were abducted, and she wants young individuals to use social media to highlight issues such as that. Interestingly, while she refrains from using social media, the Malala Fund, which she created, has launched several hashtags to help gain support for its campaigns. The stand hashtag with Malala is circulated to encourage individuals to take action for education. As far as her key message, also differently than Lady Gaga, she chooses to focus on one key issue, which is education for women. Her message remains strong and consistent over the years. Instead of diversifying her efforts, she has chosen to reach outside her initial hometown in Pakistan to make a more global impact. So while the stark differences between Lady Gaga and Malala are apparent, they do share the key characteristics that enables them to connect with others. First, they both use their personal experiences for motivation and for their basis for their platforms. They both radiate positivity and rarely engage in negative thoughts. And lastly, and most importantly, they both utilize their power to better the lives of others.